Right now at 4, the U.S. economy avoiding a potential disaster with President Joe Biden signing off on a bill that would avoid a massive rail workers strike. Joining me now to discuss, Meet the Press moderator Chuck Todd. Chuck, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
You got it.
Well, let's talk about this deal here. So even though this is a done deal, it sounds like there's been some pushback from lawmakers in Congress for this bill. What are their objections?
Well, I think it has to do with the paid leave issue. I don't think anybody's comfortable, particularly if you fashion yourself as a politician who stands up for labor unions and their right to collectively bargain and negotiate for their benefits. And that's what these 4 unions who were not ready to sign off on this deal were doing. And instead, your Congress, you're essentially passing a law to say, no, you don't get to collectively bargain. And yet you've campaigned as a pro-union elected official for, most of your political life, then yeah, you're kind of embarrassed by this, right? So I understand the discomfort. Look, this is the tough, it's easy to be an activist. It's hard to be an elected official sometimes. And you've got to weigh issues, right? You got to weigh the decision. Boy, they should be able to collectively bargain, but right in this moment, it could cause a massive disruption in our supply chain. Could cause huge problems during the holiday season. That's not good either, right? But what I wonder if this does, will we see this next Congress at least attempt to try to tackle paid leave? I mean, the fact that you had 6 Republicans join Democrats in passing a version of this bill that would have added a week's worth of paid sick leave. I think there is a growing number of Republicans who believe that, hey, you know what, this is something, it used to be seen as a left-right issue. I don't think paid leave is something anybody sees as a left-right issue. I think they see it as a benefit that shouldn't just simply be a benefit, but something that you should get. You should have the opportunity to have, and if you want to live well in this country. So I wonder if this sparks an attempt at a separate bill on paid leave, because I'll tell you, I think a lot of people would like to know they had 7 days of paid sick leave guaranteed no matter what job they were in. Yeah, certainly a complicated topic, one that we'll continue to follow here. You kind of alluded to this next Congress. That brings us to, another question we wanted to touch on, and that is this seat that remains to be seen, who's going to be filling it, the runoff that's happening now in the Georgia Senate race. So we know that early voting is underway there. Election day is next Tuesday. Are we seeing anyone with a particular advantage right now between Senator Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker, the challenger? Yeah. Look, it certainly looks like Warnock is a slight favorite for a reason. There's a reason why Republicans are pretty down on their prospects of pulling this off. And look, it's going to be awfully close. It's Georgia. I think Georgia really is a state that's probably if it was a generic vote, do you want a Democratic senator or Republican senator? I think more people would say they wanted a Republican senator. But I think the Herschel Walker character issues are enough of a drag on him that it looks like Warnock is going to pull this off. I also think Warnock supporters are more enthusiastic about Warnock than Walker's supporters are about Walker. And when you're talking about a runoff where you're trying to drag people out to the polls after what's been a nasty, vicious race, you want to be the candidate with better favorable ratings, and that's Warnock here. So it would be considered a mild upset, but it would be considered an upset if Herschel Walker won at this point. All right. Very interesting, Chuck. As always, we appreciate the insights. Hope you have a good weekend. You got it. And we'll remind folks that you can watch Meet the Press Sunday morning right here on WCNC Charlotte.